The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation of that. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Free podcast coming to you February 27th, 2024. It is the return of one Sir Denny Blanco here on the podcast. Talking a little NBA. It's been about a month, a little over a month. Denny Blanco, what's going on, brother?
Sir Denny Blanco, do not adjust your screens. It is I. You are now rocking with the best. It's in the game podcast. It's the podcast. Salute your boy Randy J. Cruz that does that with me. Please, when you have an opportunity, it's in the game pod. It's on Instagram or hit me up, Sir Denny Blanco, or on Twitter, on Instagram. Say what up. Thank you for having me. E to the J.
Can I say real quick before we get started, a little backstage stuff real quick, that I found out that you are a lot older than I realized you were today. I don't have to tell listen how old you are, but I swear to you, I thought you were early 30s, maybe mid 30s at most.
The reverse engineering of the African genes. Now I know most of you watched Black Panther.
Yes.
You know, the Wakandans, yes. There were some things that they wanted you to know, and then there were things that they didn't want you to know.
Exactly.
So I imagine in Wakanda, you know what I mean? It's like we're not letting you know this. So I imagine in Wakanda, there's a serum that allows for slow aging. Yeah. Listen, my dad is obviously here currently. He retired in Ghana, Africa, and the guy gets mistaken for 50 and he's 73.
Mm-hmm. My dad too. My dad is actually closing on 70. But if you see a picture of my father, he's been on the show before. It's been a long time. Looks like my brother. I shit you not. Be like, that's your dad? Really? It's your dad? Yeah, my dad. Yeah. How old is he? 60, blah, blah, blah. Oh, damn, really? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right environment. Obviously, I was watching, to close it, I was just watching a Netflix special about people that live long lives. And obviously the common concept is great food and sun.
Yeah.
Great food. Great food, but healthy food. Food that's fresh, food that's grown, not preservatives put in anything. So you got people in Costa Rica, you got people in certain parts of Africa that are living to 120, 115. And you got guys, there was a video of a guy chopping wood, and he's like, hey, how old are you? You look like you're 50. He said, I'm 84. He's chopping wood.
Shit.
So, the genes are out there. I pray that they continue, but
you're on the fast track, brother. I mean, if you tell me you're in the same tier as me, like in the mid 40s, fam. I mean, listen, that you're doing God's work, man. I gotta say about that. I'm gonna start this episode. I'm gonna brag a little bit. You guys know, I love the NBA. Obviously, I'm a diehard NBA guy, but you guys know I root for the Miami Heat. Yo, that was a great win last night in Sacramento without Jimmy Butler against a Kings team that's a top 6 team in the Western Conference, a team that's playing very well, actually, in fact, and granted, it was both lead late in the game, but they held on. Yo, this team, again, this is the time of year where, you talk about seeding, it's about which teams are going to make the push to the playoffs and what teams you can see in the finals. Look, the Heat has always been that team that no matter the record, if they're hanging around, you can't count them out. You saw them last year. And again, we'll sort of see that kind of, they had a 7-game losing streak a couple weeks ago, but since then they've won I think 6 of the last 8 or something like that. And you're starting to see now that teams starting to form into who they truly are when it comes to spring. Your thoughts on the Heat going forward?
It's like the Miami Heat are like a flower that likes to bloom come springtime. I don't know what it is, but the fall and winter is like, meh. And then come right after All-Star weekend, oh boy. These Miami Heaters turn on their heat after All-Star weekend. Shout out to Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy is priming up. He said he loves this time of year. So he's priming up. You mentioned the Sacramento win last night. Apparently they realized Miami realized that all Sacramento bigs were afraid of Bam. So they just kept throwing it to Bam. and Sabonis was like, oh, I don't want it. Keegan was like, oh, I don't want it. And then I think it was Miles. Miles was like, oh, I don't want it. So we got a dominating game from Bam last night. The night that they played with against Sacramento. And then you got, I want to tell you, man, Jaime. Oh my gosh, you guys in Miami. You guys in Miami just really, 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 really know how to find players. Just players that just like, whether it's Strus. I mean, Strus got paid from Miami with whatever he's doing at Cleveland. Cleveland is like the second or third seed, so God bless. Strus got paid. Duncan Robinson got paid. You got a lot of players that previously you're like, who is this guy? Come to Miami, pay him. He has a role immediately. Shout out to Jaime. I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs. But him, Bam, and Jimmy, I like what I see. Obviously, the East is loaded, but Miami, you have Miami fans have a lot to look forward to. I'm concerned about their point guard play. Yeah. But that may not be an issue. So we shall see.
Well, Rozier's out a couple of games. Another week or two, I think he'd be out. But he played well prior to the injury, so he was starting to settle in. Thank God he got rid of Kyle Lowry, which is, on our end, thank God that's over. I tweeted last night too, also after the game, because Jaime Jaquez had a phenomenal game too. Like we're like the ceiling I had on him, at least coming to the league this year, was that okay, probably a really good, serviceable guy. Now I'm thinking this ceiling it might be a lot larger than we realize, and I'm sitting there saying to myself like, this might be your future. This is your future. This is your post Jimmy Butler future here. Looking at it now, because their games are very similar, except Jaime is actually a better shooter than Jimmy is.
It's 130%, but you have to understand too. He looked great at UCLA when I was watching him. Mm-hmm. Yep. So this wasn't. I was just like, right. Yeah. When I saw him at UCLA, I said, oh, he could play. Okay, so let's just see if it translates into the NBA. He had the size, handle, could shoot off the dribble, can spot up, can create. When you come playoff time, you need guys that can create on their own, and Jaime can create on his own, baby.
And he's fearless. And he's fearless too. Like
he's fearless. He's perfect for Miami.
If you saw him, if you were some guy that was an NBA fan, casual, but didn't know who was what, how many years this player played in the league, this and that, and you saw that cat on the court, for example, you wouldn't think he's a rookie. That's the thing. He's already filled out body wise. He played 4 years of college. Okay, he's already filled out body wise. He's very obviously very mature. You know what I mean? On and off the court. So he now it's a matter of the window, not the window, the ceiling. Like now is the ceiling larger than I realized coming to the year. Like now it's a serviceable player in this league. Could he be a star going forward? Who knows? I mean, the sky's the limit.
Well, also too, for the kids out there, shout out to the babies.
Yeah.
Sir Denny Blanco loves the babies. You guys, going to school for 4 years doesn't hurt you.
Oh, no, not at all.
I know some people may think, some people may, your manager may tell you that, your scouting person may tell you that, whatever the case may be. There are players that do not need college. That's fair. That may lose their stock, if you will. If you're projected to be a top 10 pick as a freshman, chances are you wouldn't want to come back. I understand. Right. But if you're not projected at all, and you're trying to swim swim overseas or swim, do a one and done and try to swim your way onto a team, which is done before. My suggestion would be is try just staying in school for 4 years. How about that? I know people have told there's overseas, there's this and that. How about you just stay in? And sidebar, there's name, image, and likeness. Okay. So now it's not so much of a waste, if you will. Your stock will increase, and also you get paid a little bit if you are that guy.
Yeah, for every Kobe and LeBron and KG that come to the league ready to go out of high school, you still have guys that do come out of high school, 3 years or 1 year of college, and they aren't ready. They aren't filled out body wise. So
nope.
You can't use the LeBron comp or the Kobe comp. Those guys are special.
No, listen, you guys, it's got to understand too. Also, you ever seen the movie Wreck-It Ralph?
Of course, I have kids. Yeah.
I don't have kids. I watched the movie.
That makes sense why you have no wrinkles in your face now. That makes sense now. Or gray.
So yeah, it's the glitch.
Yeah.
In the movie Wreck-It Ralph wants it's in a game and he wants to not be the villain anymore.
Right.
And he meets a glitch, and the glitch gets to do what they want because they're the glitch.
Right.
So in most instances in sports and entertainment, what have you, I always say that point too, which is for every rule there's an exception. There's an exception to every rule. And LeBron, Kobe, or Kevin Garnett's, those are the glitches. So besides them, don't think that that's the norm. No, that's a glitch.
Now, you've been on the podcast a few times, pretty much on a monthly cycle here for since August, and I know the theme we've been doing here on the show is OKC, cool story. OKC, cool story. Let's sustain this now into X month. Now we're at the X month we were talking about, late last year. We were talking about October, November. Okay, this is a cool start. Would he be this good in February, March, during dog days of the NBA season? Well, right now, here's the deal. Right now, they're top number one in the West at 40-17. They won 5 in a row. They won some big games. They beat Denver twice this year already, as far as I know. So now I'm looking at the Western Conference now. I'm looking at the Western Conference. Looking at the contenders. Like, obviously, they're playoff contenders. That's not even a conversation. They're going to make the playoffs, obviously. But now I'm looking at which teams can I see at the very least playing for a chance to go to the NBA Finals. That's how I define who a Finals contender is. Do I see X team playing in the conference championship series against another team? Denny, I'm looking at the landscape of the Western Conference. And obviously with OKC, the biggest hurdle now going forward is youth. In experience in the playoffs. But I'm hard pressed to not believe at this point that they could play in the West Finals. It wouldn't surprise me.
I love the soap opera that is the NBA because things that are supposed to be at the beginning of the season may not be it at the middle end of the season. You're talking about so we have a play-in, obviously play-in now. It's 1 through 10, right? I think it's 1 through 10.
Well, yes, it's 1 through 6 for the playoffs, 7 through 10 for the play-in teams.
Yeah, so 10, right?
10.
So right now, Warriors are 10th, Lakers are 9th. And you got Dallas at number 8. Yeah. So if the playoffs started today, the Timberwolves would play Dallas at 8. Thunder will play the Kings. So if the Thunder play the Kings, I pick the Thunder to move on second round. Now,
assuming
if that's the seeding.
Right.
But then you get to the next round, and that's where you have difficulty. So I'm just looking at the landscape. The play-in tournament's going to be wild. We still have time. The Warriors are now at full strength.
Yeah.
They finally realized that Clay cannot start. He has to come off the bench. They're starting young, and they're working, and obviously Draymond's back. So now that's a completely different team than we saw at the beginning of the season.
And Kuminga's playing well, too.
Say again?
And Kuminga's playing well, too, also on top of that.
Finally, Steve Kerr has unleashed.
Yes.
My African brother. Unleashed. Got this man sitting on the sideline with...
Wait, he's African? I know he's
African. Kuminga?
No, yeah. I know that. My man.
Yeah, Kuminga. If he's not African, he must be a cousin of some African nation.
Right. Well, that name, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
It's African, right?
I didn't go into details, brother.
Adebayo, Kuminga, Antetokounmpo, African.
Yes, let's go.
There you go, African. Embiid, African. Yeah, these guys. I'm sitting back and I'm just like, yeah, finally the Warriors are starting to create something. The Lakers. I don't know about them. It's just they're an enigma. I don't know what to think about the Mavericks. Y'all look cute. Y'all look cute. And when I say the Mavs look cute, is if Luka and Kyrie give you 100 points, 80 between them in points, and then 20 between them in assists, you still need about 30.
Especially in the West.
You still need about 30 to 40 points, right?
I believe in the Mavericks because I was saying a couple days ago that the Mavericks could be the sleeping giant in the Western Conference.
They're not. You have to play defense, EJ.
That's true. You're not wrong about that.
People think Golden State outscored Cleveland in those series, and they play defense. Like, defense is needed to win championships. So, like I said, if Luka and Kyrie give you 100 between them two alone, we need 30. So let's just say Hardaway gives you 20. That's still 10 points, and that's still a matter of defending. So when you sit back and it's like, oh, Mavericks, they look good. I'm like, all right, let them run into Minnesota with Cat and Gobert just eating all the boards, all of them. Not a good look. Thunder, you got Chet sitting back, grabbing boards. Don't get me wrong, Dallas did get bigger. They got bigger with their trades. Shout out to PJ Washington. They got bigger with their trades, 100%. But I don't think it's going to be something that gets them to a championship. Maybe second round. Maybe an upset in the first round. Gets in second. But other than that. But the bottom line was the Thunder. Shout out to them. You may have a brand new MVP in SGA. His numbers, my favorite now. His numbers suggest so. He is leading a team in categories as well as second in the West. So
technically tied first technically with Minnesota right now, and they're winning games. They're winning.
So my MVP vote currently right now is SGA.
Mine too.
I know a lot of people may say I don't even want to. There's nobody on Minnesota that I think is an MVP, but there, somebody may say, why isn't Jason Tatum? Which a lot of people saying Jason Tatum's not getting no love. I don't know.
He's in the top 5.
I understand that, but 45 and 12. They've been leading the East the whole season.
Yeah,
the whole season.
But it isn't something we haven't seen before. That's with him and that team. I mean, in fact, they're a better team than they were last couple of years with KP being there now. The question now is, can they just get done in the playoffs? And look, I understand the argument that it's a regular season award, but SGA and Jokic, those guys have separated themselves in the pack, and before he got hurt, Embiid was separated himself in the pack as well too. Individually.
The reason I picked Boston to go to represent the East in the NBA Finals, it's 2 reasons: the pickup of KP, and if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Odds are not, but if he stays healthy. And Holiday.
Yeah.
You let me tell you something, guys, boys and girls. Milwaukee and Milwaukee's third, 37-21. Right?
Oh, we're gonna Doc in a second.
Say again?
We're gonna Doc in a second. We're gonna have some fun with Doc in a second. That's
yeah. So you're talking about before the trade for Dame, I kept saying to Randy J. Cruz on It's in the Game podcast, I said, if the Bucks can keep Holiday and get Dame, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I want that. I
You said in this show too. Also, you said in this show too. Actually, I think when we first started,
I said if Dame could get to Milwaukee, because obviously it seemed like Dame wanted to go to Miami real bad. Okay,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, it seemed like, and it just the tea leaves from what I'm getting. So he's there, and Holiday gets traded, and I said that's bad. That's gonna be bad, and you see it's bad. It's not bad like, oh my god, the 8th seed. No, they go bad from 1 to 3. Bad because Holiday can defend 4 positions, all elite NBA defender. Yep. You see what he's doing for Boston. Tatum and Brown got a phone call. Tatum and Brown got a phone call. It was like, we got Holiday. What? We got Holiday from Milwaukee. Really? So wait, I won't have to guard Jimmy Butler?
we even said in the podcast when the move happened. No, even before it happened, when Drew Holiday was, lurking about where to go next. No, we said that depending on where he went, it could have been Miami or Boston. That wherever Drew Holiday went, that move cancels out Dame Lillard because of the impact that Drew has on defense. He can, I'm not going to say they're going to shut down Lillard, but he can damn sure make his life very tough, which puts more pressure on Giannis and those other boys to get the job done.
Holiday being there on the Bucks, Middleton gets saved. Giannis gets to roam.
Yeah,
because you have a solid defender who can recover if he gets beat.
Yeah,
but now he's on Boston. So now my man Mitchell Donovan, you're gonna get some Holiday. Dame, you could see some Holiday. Jalen Brunson, you're gonna definitely see some Holiday.
Yep.
Maxey, you're gonna see some Holiday.
Right.
Jimmy Butler, Jaime, Duncan Robinson, all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Halliburton. Defense win championships.
It kind of feels to your point. That kind of feels like what everything you're saying here too. Also, that the West is a little more of a question mark. Although you still say Denver, but anything can happen with certain teams in the West. Kind of feels a little more defined in the Eastern Conference that it's Boston or bust right now. It feels that way.
Yeah, no, it's hard to go against, and also too, I love their versatility.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, Boston's versatility. Like, oh, listen, you know what? We want to go big. So let's do KP, Al Horford, Jalen, Jason, Holiday, and what? You know what? We want to go small. Let's do Pritchard, White, Holiday, or Jason at the 3-4, put Brown at the 4, and put Horford at the 5. There's so many interchangeables. So when they actually meet, if they happen to meet any of the big teams, Denver, Minnesota, OKC, they'll be fine. They'll be fine because they can stretch on the other side. When I mean stretches, they'll be able. So if it's Denver, your man Joker's coming out because he has to guard KP. Your man Joker's coming out because guard. Or if you put Harford, you bring Harford out there, you have to come out. So you're talking about Gobert. Come out here. You got to guard KP. He's not going to be nowhere near the rim. So Boston I'm comfortable with Boston's strategy against any of those big threes, even OKC. Chet, you're going to come on the wing too. Chet's fine in the wing, but again, you're not blocking shots under the rim. So Boston, it's finals or bust for them.
That's my question. Aim less in the finals, a championship. Not necessarily going to the finals. Aim less than a championship is a disappointment, right?
If you lose against Denver, the defending champion, I don't see that as a failure. You got to the finals and lost to the defending champions. Now,
fair point.
If you get there and you see OKC, you dig what I'm saying? Like when OKC went the first finals with
with KD and Harden and Russ,
they were young. Boys. They didn't know what they were young. So the expectation of them, it's like, oh, they'll come back. Boston has about 4 years of that. Like
and then some, actually.
You feel me? Like Boston could if they keep this same core together, literally could be the Buffalo Bills.
Oh man,
the old Buffalo Bills, the 4-time AFC championships and then they went to the Super Bowl 1-0. They could
4 in a row. Yep, 4 in a row.
They could literally be the former Buffalo Bills of the 90s of the NBA. But it's still early. I don't want to put that on them.
Yeah. So let's stay in the East real quick then. You mentioned Boston. Milwaukee, the other team that's like supposed to be the biggest challenger to the Celtics. Last time we spoke, Doc wasn't there. Doc was still there when we last spoke on the podcast, right? He was still there, right? I believe.
On the Sixers? No,
yeah, no. He was Doc was still on TV, right?
Yeah, he was still on TV.
Right. So Griffin hasn't gotten fired yet. Well, since then Griffin's gotten fired. Doc's taken over. They've been struggling. Now they won 2 in a row, but they're right now number 3 in the Eastern Conference. I mean, if you had told me that 37-21 is underwhelming, I said crazy, but it does feel underwhelming. 37-21 Milwaukee Bucks right now, and Doc. I mean, right now there's still time for him to turn around and get high to powers on level with Boston and everybody else in the league, but it does feel underwhelming right now with Milwaukee.
If Doc doesn't get this team to the Eastern Conference Finals, do I think he's coming back? Hell no. No. Then somebody's going to ask me.
Wait, you they're going to fire what, 1, 2, 3 coaches in the span of 1 year?
You That's act crazy. Like that's an odd thing to do.
No, right, but I'll give him this. He's Doc's getting this rest of this year and 1 more year, unless it falls apart like badly between now and.
I don't know if he signed a 2-year or 1 year. I don't know if he signed a 2-year or 1 year. I'm not. I can look that up.
I heard multiple years.
Multiple. Well, you know what? People have signed contracts and got fired too, so it don't matter. It don't matter. There you go. So I look at the tea leaves and I look at Dame Lillard putting on his page. How do you know a sailor's a good sailor if the seas aren't rough?
Yeah.
What do you mean, Dame? Who are you referring to, Dame? This is a different, hip hop is got subliminals all over the place. You got to think like, who's that rapper talking about? Dame, you're not talking about a player. Who's coming onto the team with rough? Oh, the coach. Interesting. Okay. Denny Blanco, the NBA whisperer. I'm just hearing things. I don't know if these are true or not. I'm just trying to put these tea leaves together now. So you talk about that. You talk about Giannis getting his last coach fired.
Yeah.
You talk about games where players are like, I didn't know what we're doing there. You have a coach, you didn't know what you was
doing, yeah.
And finally, Doc saying, hey, these guys are on vacation. It is what it is. You have players and coaches being like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. So, do I believe when the going gets rough in the playoffs, it's loud, people are cheering, you can't hear nothing, and everyone has to yell over each other? I don't believe in Doc Rivers. Not currently. I haven't believed in him since Boston won the championship. What exactly has making anything from Doc Rivers' resume after Boston make me believe that he is the one that's the one? Went to the Clippers. I thought that was his best team ever. A healthy Chris Paul. Excuse me. Depending on what you talk about healthy. You're talking about it.
In the year.
Still a prime Chris Paul. You got a prime Blake Griffin. You got DeAndre Jordan. You got JJ Redick. Okay. You go down to Philly. Okay. You lose to Toronto. Okay. You get let go. They send you to the TV to talk basketball. You're trash. By the way, never liked you as a shout out to Doug Collins. Shout out to Tim Legler. Mm-hmm. Never Docky. You're terrible. You're terrible. On TV, you're terrible. But you got paid. TV, huh? But you got paid to be on TV. And you were getting paid to be a consultant for the Bucks. And then all of a sudden, the Bucks reached out to you and you in an interview said, I don't even know why y'all doing this. But you took $40 million. But you took $40 million. Now people's like, oh, if you don't want to do a job, there's not too many people who's going to say no to $40 million. And then you end up coaching the all-star team. It's like, where they do that at?
Let me start here real quick, though. Do you disagree with the decision the Bucks made to fire Griffin despite being 30-13?
Very good question.
Because there were some clues that there was some infighting, some discomfort there.
Well, again, me just watching the Giannis exchange with Adrian was enough for me.
Right, of course.
I never saw that with Bud.
But again, do you see it through though? Like, do you say Giannis suck it up and see it through first?
Sometimes the tea leaves that you receive as management, sometimes the tea leaves that you receive from your players is like, this is not, we can't hold this over. We have to replace them. And based on the information, inside information, they literally have like, yo, all right, we're pressing the switch. We gotta let this go. 26 whether, and also too, I've seen it where 26 games in, losing record, you gotta go. 26 games in, winning record, you gotta go. And in both instances, it's you do not have the voice of the players.
That's true.
Clearly, it doesn't matter about the record. You do not have the voice of the players. And that's another thing, too. How many players have said, if this person goes, I'm not here anymore, and that person stays? So it's clear that the players have power to keep coaches where they need to keep them. And also have the power to get rid of them. Shout out to Steve Kerr signing another 2-year deal to match Steph Curry's 2-year deal. Yeah, I'll stay with him, man. You know what I mean?
All it took was like a little winning streak here too. So
yeah. Give me my wins up. Get my wins up to add to this rezo for 2 more years, and then we'll see what we do after that. Brilliant.
Yeah, that Bucks situation. It's funny because like even with all this considered, if they're healthy, and that's been a problem. That's been a problem with this team pretty much for the last couple of years post 2021 title, is that they've been good enough to win titles beyond 2021, but 2022, Chris Middleton missed, most of the playoffs. Last year, Giannis missed a chunk of that Miami series. That cost him the series. So you can argue health has been the thing that's held the Bucks back. And yet, we're not even discussing that. We're in a place now where people believe that even if they're healthy, Boston's clearly better than they are right now.
Yeah, even so, healthy. It's not going to be a it's going to be a battle, and I'm getting ready for the seeding and getting ready for everybody to sit down and I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to pay very close attention to what Doc does in the playoffs, because it's literally it's going to be part of his legacy. So I'm going to be paying attention. For sure.
I'll say this much, and I know this rhetoric's out there, but I actually believe the rhetoric out there that if he fails this job, he is done as the NBA head coach.
Again,
you guys say
what resume? What resume since Boston? What are you gonna say since Boston? He won a chip in Boston. After that, what did he do? And he's been paid, so it's not a matter of money or this, that, and the third. Hey, he's not. This is his last stop, babe. This is his last stop. Period.
Right. Yeah. So this one cat called you a genius. Kevin Durant called you a genius recently. And it's funny. Like this, a lot of the discussion points about Durant and about him as a player, him as a leader or not a leader, or just not how he operates as just in general how he operates. I've never been missing a thing here. Like Kevin Durant is, to me, as I think I've come to a place with KD now where, like, you know what, this dude is who he is. He's transparent about it, and whether or not we like it or don't like, agree or disagree with it, I think it's an us problem now. Kevin Durant's never said he's a leader or not a leader. He never said that this and that. He wants the ball. Like, I think we place these expectations on these stars because of how we've seen stars growing up, the Magics, the Birds, the Jordans, the Kobes, you name it. This goes on, and how there's a way you should operate as a star. If you're the best player on a team or a top 2 or 3 player in the league, you should operate this way. And Kevin Durant's kind of bucking those trends now in a sense. And I don't think we're appreciating that in a sense, where a guy that's very transparent about how he feels. He'll talk. He'll use burner accounts, but he'll clap back at people. You saw what happened in Dallas 2 days, 3 days ago with the couple calling him a bitch, and he goes and reports immediately and say, "Why'd you do that for? Why? I think I've come to a place where Kevin Durant, I really do appreciate him now more than ever. Because him leaving to go to Golden State after leaving OKC in 16 was, I'll say it felt dirty because of the how he did it. Not so much the how, but more so you go to the team that won 73 games, was literally a game away from winning a title again, okay, to the same team that beat you in the playoffs that you were up 3-1 against in that series, and you decided to go to that team. It's a bad look. And then he goes to the Nets and the Kyrie thing, and now all that drama. But I think I'm in a place now with Durant that I feel like I think I come to a place now where I appreciate Durant. And I think people should just embrace him for who he is. He's telling you who he is.
You're 100% right. Shout out to KD. It's the genius.
Call you genius.
Call me genius. I think he's tongue in cheek often. But to be serious and be fair, he's one of the greatest players to ever play basketball, right?
Yeah.
But the concept of fans believing in a player and what they're supposed to do versus what they're doing, that's where he's trying to obviously change the trend. Now, you mentioned Jordan and Kobe. Just keep it LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron given the keys, and the concept is when you're the best player, and the concept is simple. When you're the best player on the team, there are responsibilities for you and only you. So also too, when you're the best and the highest paid, there's a responsibility bestowed upon you. That's just the way it is. Now, when it comes to when you mention leader, no one is forcing Kevin Durant to be a leader. No one. Possibly the media, right? Would you say that OKC team that lost to Golden State, Kevin Durant was the leader of that team? Possibly.
That was the optics anyway. That was what we probably
possibly
assumed.
Or you could say there were no leaders on that team. It was Russell, it was Harden, you could say there was no leader. Possibly. Goes to Brooklyn. Who's the leader of that team? That was the ultimate question while he was there. Is it you? Is it Kyrie? Is it James? No one's a leader.
It's funny because Kyrie kind of claimed that early on. She's like, me and KD got it. We don't need a coach. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah, and then you leave. To leave, you go to the Phoenix Suns. But even then, the concept of you leaving OKC to go to Golden State, even if let's say they did have the 73-10, they did, excuse me. Let's say they were 60-10, whatever the case may be. The concept of you being up 3-1, that's what gets me. Mm-hmm. It's not the record. It's you at the time being 3-1 and then losing 4 straight games and then deciding, you know what? I'm going to join them. No, I would have beat you next year because I had you. I was right there. That means I could have beat you. So I want to prove that I can beat you. And poor KD. Draymond Green. Mm-hmm. Draymond Green probably talk a little bit differently in this concept or conversation when he comes to saying leadership. And a lot of people would say Draymond is the engine or leader of Golden State. Whether you could say Steph is the best player on the team, sure. And Steph leads a different way, sure. The engine is Draymond Green, period. No point, no dispute, no debate. And the concept of him Draymond noticing that KD is not built like that. he actually Katie not thinking this, Draymond actually told him to his face.
Yeah, which I respect for the record.
Told him to his face during the season while you're on my team, hey guy, you're not that guy. So don't talk to me like you're that guy. Yeah, you can score. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're not a leader here. When you leave, we'll win again. It won't matter. And what happened? They won again and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, Katie got 2 chips and the MVP is like on Golden State. The concept for his legacy was to win without them. For me. Because a lot of people, it's the thought process. It's the thought process. Look at Kobe winning 2 without Shaq. It's the thought, because you know for a fact Kobe does not win those 2 rings. They look at Kobe and say, you great, but those rings ain't nothing without Shaq. You know it.
Yep, absolutely.
He knew it. I knew it. Everyone knew it. It was like, no. I am going to be a maniac until I get some rings without Shaq.
Also, you gotta be real. You also gotta be real too. Also, like this dude left Steph Curry for Kyrie Irving. No disrespect to Kyrie Irving, man. The guy's a phenomenal individual player, but man, you left Steph Curry to go play at Kyrie Irving.
Well, I don't even. Yeah, at the same time too. The concept was I have to run away from Draymond Green at all costs. I have to get away from this guy at all costs. At all costs, and whether it's a good thing or bad thing, clearly Golden State, Kevin Durant, Jordan Poole. They've put their stock in the guy that brought them 4 rings. Is that a good thing or bad thing for your future? I don't know. But 4 rings is 4 rings, man. Even then, I question. Damn, 4 rings is that, 4 rings and that legacy is that much more important than him socking a guy in the face or calling a guy a bitch on your team? Really? I guess it is. So, in closing, Kevin, my best friend, you'll probably go down as a top 10 scorer ever. You'll probably go down as one of the greatest players ever. But like I tell Randy J. Cruz, there are going to be certain rooms that you're not allowed in. And what rooms are those? You have the championship rooms, right? Right? Think about it like when you go to high school. They have all different types of subject. You got to go different classrooms, and then you have homeroom, etc. Right? Think of it like that. You have the championship room. If you have a chip, a ring, you're allowed in. But then there's a room where it's like, no. There's a core individuals where the championship is literally based on them. Like if they're not in this room, so Jordan, LeBron, Steph, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Magic. See, these are guys in different rooms where it's like, yeah, no. We will win it without a second, just sub a second person in. We'll win it. We are the sauce. And that's what separates KD right now from that other room. And that's fine. That's fine. You could be one of the greatest players ever. You could be, top 10 scoring, all of that. You just won't be in that room, which is fine. They're different rooms. And that's okay. Don't take it as a disrespect. Don't take it as a negative. It's just you're not allowed in that room. And that's a perception too. Also, people like you and I is that like KD's in my top 15 all time, but I won't put him top 10 because of, again, he's got to win one without Steph to really start to say, okay, now you're making a conversation, because he made some decisions that, and again, you can do what you want. No one's saying you can't do what you want, but we're also allowed to judge based on what we see. Again, you see LeBron leaves Cleveland, goes to Miami, wins 2 chips. I guarantee you the Cleveland chip is worth more than those 2.
Of course it is. For him, yes.
Guaranteed. That chip in Cleveland, number 1, because he's from Cleveland. Number 2, because he left Cleveland. Number 3, because he did it without Miami. 3, and then number 4, he did it against a team that was 73-10. Or whatever the number is.
79, you're close.
Yeah, the NBA best winning record. So people will be like, rings, how you win them? The struggle. Kobe said it too. He's like, yeah, you want to weigh the rings. My first 3 is as heavy as my last 2? Hell no. The first 3 he won with like 4 or 5 Hall of Famers. The last 2 he probably won one with 1. Maybe Paul Gasol. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So it weighs differently, man. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you being in different rooms and you being ranked differently based on the purists and the fans and what they think. That's why the fans are here to spark this conversation. But you do not have to agree, Kevin. You're rich, you're famous, and I'm a genius. You don't have to agree.
His words. His words too. No, so that being said, 2 things to get you out of here. Well, a couple things. So then, talk about KD, LeBron, all these faces we had in the league for, of course, the last 30, 40 years. We're closing in closely. I mean, I don't know how long. I mean, LeBron is playing. He's 21 years in, and he's still playing like he's 10 years in. But there will be a point where LeBron will be gone, Curry will be gone, KD will be gone. Who is, if not now, the future face of the league, in your opinion?
They were talking about this the other day. I think it was on Gil's Arena. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas.
Love that. I
don't know if the NBA wants a foreign player to be the face of the league. They're gonna have to look really real hard at that, because Luka's sitting right there. You got SGA sitting right there, and you got Joker sitting right there. These guys aren't leaving, and then obviously Giannis. These guys aren't disappearing anytime soon, right? They're going to be around for another 10, 15 years. So the conversation is those are, technically they're not U.S. born players. Right. Luka, Joker, SGA, and Giannis.
That does surprise you though you say that, because this is of all the 4 big major sports in this country, that's the one league that actually appeals to a international audience than the other 3. So I'm surprised that you say that they don't want a international player to be the face of the league.
They may, the NBA may not want that, because you're right. It makes sense because the league is international, right?
Right.
It makes sense. But again, sit back and understand, since the 80s, who has been the face of the league?
All Americans, yeah.
I'm just going on history and what I've seen.
Well, my thing is this, though. Do we really need one at this point? One singular face? Why can't this be a group of guys? You know what I mean? And I'm going to compare this to wrestling, for example, because we're kind of there wrestling in some degree. So taking the WWE model, for example, and you watched wrestling back in the day, so you can probably relate to some degree of this. So the 80s, the face of the company was Hulk Hogan, obviously. Okay. Then you had a little era where, like, for a good 5 years, you had, it was Bret Hart, but it was Bret Hart shared with Shawn Michaels, shared with this guy, this and that. Then Austin took over. And then you can say The Rock and Austin were kind of in the same, like, 1 and 2. I would put Austin ahead of Rock, because I think Austin was that charge. Rock came right behind him. And then John Cena after that. And then for the last 10 years, prior to this last run with Roman Reigns, I would dare say there has been no big face of the company. There's been a bunch of guys, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I kind of feel like that we don't necessarily need a number 1 face, more so that we have a bunch of really great players that all represent the league in different ways. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being pie in the sky here. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think multiple players representing the league is great. Yeah, you just did WWE. I was just watching a little bit of Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, it's great, isn't he? It's fucking fantastic.
I'm tired.
Is Randy rubbing up on you then?
No, it's Randy. Randy's a WWE head for a minute. No, I was just sometimes when there's no basketball, when I'm flicking through last night, the Nets game, the Knicks game, and then Raw's
on, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just flicking.
It was also a soft NBA schedule last night too. On top of that, so
right. So I'm flicking through, and then I see the introductions. But you're right. You're always going to have your one. So, for example, let's just do one tier. You mentioned you have Roman, and then you have Rollins, and then maybe Gunther, and then you have pretty much everybody else.
Look at this guy. Ready to be proud of you right now.
Yeah, just off top, just a little surfacey, right? But you look at the league, yeah, you can put your Giannis, your Lukas, your SGAs, and your Jokers as faces, and then bring up your other players like your Chet Holmgrens or you still have your Bookers, and you have, so it's going to be more unless sidebar. Anthony Edwards.
Keep hearing that.
If he takes another step, yes, it's going to be him because he has all the prerequisites, the personality.
Yeah, he does.
The personality, the sneaker deal, the athleticism, the oh my God, what did he just do? He has all of that to usher in the new NBA era. However, he has to keep his nose clean.
Mm-hmm.
He's young.
Yeah.
Gotta keep your nose clean, baby, if you want to be the face of the league.
Yeah.
And if you want to know how to keep your nose clean, give a phone call to LeBron James.
Always. Steph Curry also, too.
And Steph Curry. Give a call to those two guys. You're good as golden. Don't even worry about it.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
I know Jason Tatum said he wants to be face of the league.
Again, we just talked about Jason Tatum, and I'm just like, I don't know if it's a matter of he doesn't talk, he doesn't have a personality. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, they're not gravitating towards him.
He hasn't separated himself. Like we said last week.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know what it's going to take. Because I mean, yeah, he could drop 60. He could win a game with a game-winning shot. He could defend. So I'm asking myself, I was like, what's it going to take for him to be considered if he's done all these other things already? He's gone to the finals. Mm-hmm. He's an all-star. He's all NBA.
He's top 5-ish player in the league.
He's top 5-ish, 7, easy. So I'm like, so what exactly am I missing from moving him further up in the rooms where we talked about earlier, where it's just like, oh, okay, well, he's not this second tier all-star. He's first tier. Like, oh, he is first tier. Don't get you twisted, but I'm just like, face of the NBA. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Definitely the debate we'll have for like next couple of years to come, obviously. I mean, I would say the easy answer would be saying, well, maybe Jokic is best player in the league, but Jokic doesn't seem like he wants that kind of attention. He just wants to play ball. He's kind of like KD in that way. Let's play ball.
Jokic, please, Jesus. Oh my goodness. Jokic is the best. And he's allowed to get away with it. Why? Because he wasn't born here. He's allowed to get it.
Well, it's kind of like the Mike Trout thing in baseball, too. Also, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball, but he doesn't care to do the extra stuff. He doesn't have to, be honest. His job is to play baseball. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, but Joker is on some like, no. Like, I just so happen to be good at basketball. Yeah.
Not my first love.
He has a good perspective on it.
Again, the thought process, LeBron actually happens to be good at basketball, but that's his first love, right? Kobe, same concept. Steph, same concept. Like these guys that are bred here, first love, then you just so happen to be good.
Yes.
Joker, no. Joker came in a bum project. Just so happened to work hard and become an MVP.
And the best player in basketball.
And the best player in basketball. He's just like, he's just like,
it's actually something you really admire, think about. Because I think Jokic has a great perspective on life in general. Like, yeah, I love basketball. I do love it. But I also love my family. I love my horses. And he has a nice balance.
That's good.
And that's okay, I think, actually. That's okay.
That is absolutely okay. Like, he's just like, they're like, yeah, nah. He's just like, yeah, let's just do the parade, and I just want to go. I just want to go home and be with my family because I haven't seen them, and I've been working for 9 months. I haven't seen them, and I miss them. So I just want to go home. F this freaking parade. Yeah, we won. Yeah.
And the thing is, you know that that's he's not playing. That's real. That's really him. That's who he is.
No, that's literally him. I think, like I said, it's when you're not born here. Same thing with Luka. Was it's like, bro, like they was like, oh, they asked like. There was something going on. I think he got roughed up by somebody. And it was like, oh, is this something that that took you back? He was like, I've played in Serbia. He said something wild like,
yeah,
I played in Serbia with the around barbed wire and something crazy. I was just like,
perspective is different when you somewhere else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, when Jalen Rose says, they had guns in high school when we played games. What am I gonna be afraid to play in Michigan State, University of Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
They had guns in the stands. If we lost, it was problems.
Exactly. Yeah. So let me ask you this one last NBA question here. And I know you're probably tired of hearing about this narrative because we're about a week and a few days since that game. But I am intrigued by some of the just some of the playback and some of the responses to this. I want to hear your perspective on this now. The NBA All-Star game. How do you fix it? If it needs to be fixed, which most people say it has to be fixed. Are you okay with the product? Or you don't like it? Do you take it seriously? Not too seriously? I mean, where do you stand in the NBA All-Star game? And if so, how do you fix it? Shaking his head with folks on the podcast side. He's shaking his head like
I'm shaking my head, big bros, ladies. I'm dumbfounded because I come from a place where when the NBA, when you were an all-star, you took it very, very seriously. It was a chance to showcase. But like most things, I was looking at a hip-hop video of Beanie Siegel and Freeway rapping when they were first trying to get on in a radio station. And somebody was like, it looks like they were rapping for their lives. I said they were. They were hungry. And that's because there was no internet. The internet, unfortunately, has changed things. So these players don't have the same hunger, the same desire, the same fire and desire when it comes to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Even with athletes participating in skills drills. It's like Ant Edwards is like, I'm just going to play loosey-goosey. Why? So let me give you some solutions before I go, because I already told you it's a problem. It's interesting that it's a problem, but it was one of the most watched NBA All-Star games. A problem, but one of the most watched. So why fix it, right? Dunk contest. You fix the dunk contest by searching the internet for dunkers, and then you invite them in to perform on the biggest stage they've ever performed their dunk on. You think they're going to take it seriously? Shout out to McClung.
Yeah.
The first time I saw McClung in high school on YouTube, I said, he needs to be the dunk contest. Immediately. Fast forward. Was it an all-star game? Right. So it was an all-star. I think it was an all-star game or something. Yeah, it must have been an all-star game. Because I remember seeing D Wade still playing.
Right.
And McClung at either it was a break in the timeout, whatever. He did a dunk. He did a reverse no-look one-hand dunk. I said, yes, he's going to be a dunk champion if he's invited. And of course, he's won 2 times. It's because he cares about the actual product of dunking. So you grab people from the internet that care. Forget these NBA players. They don't give a high horse about this dunk contest. They don't care.
They do not.
They don't. They don't. And it's fine. Put them in a skills challenge. Put them in a 3-point contest. When it comes to the all-star actual game, give the old heads 8 minutes. When I mean old heads, guys that been 6-time All-Star, 7-time All-Star, 8-time All-Star, 10-time All-Star, we don't want to see you. Sit down. I want to see the new, like Trae Young should have more minutes. Guys that are 1-2 years All-Stars, give them all the minutes. That'll change some things up because I'm getting all these minutes. I've never been here before. Let's get to work, baby. You're giving all these old heads minutes. They're like, man, here's a pass.
Yeah.
Here's a 3-point shot. I don't want to take it. Don't get me wrong, Dame. Shoot from half court like it's a free throw. I'm like, I would have loved actually if you shot from half court like it was a free throw and you had a hand in your face. I'd have loved that. Guys, one of the greatest NBA All-Star games, go look it up, 2001 NBA All-Star game. 2001.
Yeah.
Starting five for the West. Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd. Tracy McGrady. Weber. Kevin Garnett. And Tim Duncan.
In 2001? What the hell was Kobe and Shaq?
Oh, I'm lying. I think Kobe's a starter. Kobe was a starter. That's right. Kobe was a starter, right? Yeah. Because Tracy was in the East. My fault.
Right. Orlando.
Orlando. Yeah.
Right.
So it was Jason, Kobe, KG, Tim Duncan, and Weber starting five against Iverson. Steph was on that team. Tracy was on that team. Vince Carter was on that team. The East was down 25 points. Don't you know they came back to win that game?
Really?
And they played defense.
Yeah.
They played defense. Hello.
Well, I said already, I haven't watched an All-Star game in over 10 years because it's always been, it has gotten worse and worse and worse. It's unwatchable. And the thing is, I don't know. My thing is this, though. Maybe, see, we agree with me on this. These players are living in a silo. Everything you said was correct for the record. You know, everything is, you know, they you know, in an internet age now, there's the hunger, the whole nine, the lack of that. 100% with you on that one. I think the only way they get the message is to require him in the pockets. In other words, not so much fighting them, but the next CBA comes around, and the TV deal is a lot less because you already have people having issues with the low management stuff now as it is because players don't want to care about playing certain games. No, for a reason. Now you have the All-Star game thing situation. If for some reason the next TV deal is a lot lower than and look, it's probably not gonna happen that way because there's gonna be someone who's gonna want to pay X amount of dollars to get a TV deal, and NBA is gonna take it and make a lot of money and whatever. But if the next TV deal is impacted to where salaries are impacted across the board, they'll get a message. I think that will.
I mean, the concept of you getting paid millions and millions of dollars for a weekend where the league says we want to celebrate you. You're one of our all-stars. Come this weekend and play a half of hard basketball for your fans that voted you in. And you need to pay them more for that?
I'm not saying pay more for that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying pay more for that. It's going to take them, the league, both the league and the partners, losing money for them to take it seriously going forward, or more serious in the record.
Okay, so using that framework, the All-Star game weekend, the weekend.
Yeah.
They didn't lose any money.
Right.
Year-over-year growth.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They made more money than last year.
Right.
So when you say like the only way it's gonna happen is they lose money, they're not gonna lose money. So the product stays the same.
It's gonna take the entire league taking a hit where like fans start to say, you know what, I'm done. And look, here's the thing: we're in an era now where there are so many companies across any subgenre vying for our eyeballs for content. If people start to, okay, the NBA is whatever, it is what it is, and ratings are going down, Next thing you know, the next TV deals, a lot less between the next CBA is the BRI. It's a lot less for the players, a lot less salaries. We go back to 2010, before the big blow up in 2016. I'm just saying, I don't wish this to happen to the NBA. Obviously, I'm a diehard. I am, as a fan, protective of the league, as a fan of the league, but they got to be a little more the players have got to be a little more self-aware what's going on, and they're not.
No, they're not. I mean, no, they're not. Your casual fan is just your casual fan, or your fan that's fan that's just catching on. they don't really know. They're surfacey. But for those that are like me and you that have history with this league, shout out to Randy J. Cruz. We've seen it. We know it. We know what's going on in the back rooms. So, once again, it's we're going to see second half of the season. NBA soap opera is going to continue, and it's it's going to be one for the ages. Yep. EJ, I thank you always for having me on. I appreciate the time we spent. I appreciate you asking me what I think about the NBA, because not everybody believes in my thought process. Not everybody understands the way I relay information, but you're kind enough to invite me to your audience to actually to actually talk about it. So once again, Sir Denny Blanco, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm out of here, but you guys catch me if you disagree with anything I said. Sir Denny Blanco, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, holla at me. I'm very, very, very easy to talk to. Yeah, I don't get angry at all.
Of course,
I'm very, very easy to talk to. So if you disagree with something, just come on through and we'll have a discussion. You heard?
And boy, he's not 25. He's older than that.
26.
Good job as always, brother.
Thank you.